Hello, the internet. Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Enter the Popverse. I am Ashley Victoria Robinson, your video producer and host here in the Popverse. And if this is your first time watching, what a great first episode you picked. The Popverse is, of course, a virtual realm created by Read Pop, where we are celebrating the best in TV, movies, and comics. As always, if you are into anything that we're talking about, if you want to learn more things, if you want more context, if you want the full and complete story at all times, you can go and visit thepopverse.com, where we have features, quizzes, photos, videos, pretty much everything that you want in geeky format. We have for you, my friends. While you're over there, why not get yourself a Popverse membership? I have a Popverse membership. I know you want a Popverse membership. And if you get a Popverse membership, you can see a bunch of extra me by using your Popverse membership. Now, this show typically is a live show. This week, you might have sensed that it's a little less live than usual. And I know that's very, very sad, but I put on my big, bright red White Tree of Gondor shirt to hopefully make you feel a little bit better. And that is because right now, at the time you're watching this, it's October 12th to 15th, and I am in New York City. Whereas right now, I'm in Los Angeles, California. And that's because, of course, the incredible and amazing New York Comic-Con is going on right now. And myself and Graeme and everybody else from Team Popverse is in New York. So if you were on the East Coast, hopefully right now you are coming up to one of the incredibly friendly and accessible members of Team Popverse and saying, I love Popverse so much. I love Enter the Popverse. I watch every single Friday. I can't believe I'm watching. And then we'll get all of our phones out and we'll take a super cute selfie together. But there's a bunch of other amazing things that are going on. We've teased them. I've talked a little bit about them. And I thought I would bring you some extra details about where you can find me running around absolutely all weekend long. So, and if you got yourself a Popverse membership, then yesterday, that was Thursday, yesterday, October 12th to the 15th in New York City. Yesterday, you might have even been able to watch me in a 3D space host the Ewan McGregor live panel. I did this yesterday. It was incredible. You get to see me talk to a Scottish person each and every single week here on Enter the Popverse when I talk to the incredible, the wonderful, the sexy Graeme McMillan. And I did just that on the main stage at New York Comic-Con. And I know you might be saying to yourself, Ashley, that is so lovely. And I'm so happy for you. And I'm sure you had a super fun, happy time. But honestly, it's a little bit tragic because today is Friday and I wasn't able to see you on Thursday, but fear not, friends. It's okay. The universe has our back. Saturday, tomorrow, Saturday the 14th at 11 a.m. on the main stage of New York Comic-Con. You can also come out and watch me host the Guardians of the Galaxy panel. You can come out and watch me host that panel live at New York Comic-Con. It is going to be a wild time. There are so many incredible people on that panel. I'm so excited to share it with you in a 3D space. Everybody on Team Popverse is hosting so many incredible things. We have Chris Aaron and Tiffany Babb hosting the Meet the Comics Press panel. It is a hit every single time they do that. I'm so proud of them. Seriously, go and check that out. It's one of the my favorite hidden gems of NYCC. Tiffany is also going round 2.0 with Mr. David Tennant himself hosting that spotlight panel. I'm so proud of her for getting this opportunity. She's going to do such a good job. You're definitely going to want to check that out. Graeme and I are hosting a live Enter the Popverse. It's happening very close to right now. Please, if you are watching this and you're coming to New York, please come and see it. It's going to be chaos. Just like every single episode of the show is chaos in the best, geekiest, funnest way possible. Chris Aaron is hosting Steve Ditko. Veronica Valencia is hosting Our Flag Means Death. There are so many fun stages and incredible opportunities to come out and watch us this weekend. I hope you will come and see each and every single one of us shine for you on stage. Also, there are very few tickets left, so I want to remind you that if you want to come and join us, please make sure that you're visiting the website so that you can come and have the most complete and full experience possible. All right, my friends, let's bring them on. Our first Scot of the day. Please put your hands together in the traditional Theater Kid round of applause and join me in welcoming Mr. Graeme McMillan to Enter the Popverse. All right.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm gonna leave that in. Welcome back, Graeme.
again. It's been forever.
It's
You know
been
what's weird? You know what's
another
really
week.
genuinely weird? As this is airing, we're actually going to be hanging out in person at New York
We're
Comic
gonna
Con.
be here's the joke though. You and I at New York almost never see each other.
You say
Most
that.
other conventions, we do get to see each other. We do have something to do together specifically.
Yeah, we do have something to do together, so we will definitely see each other. But it's so strange to be like, as people are watching this, you could probably also watch a live stream from New York that like you and I might be at.
That's true. I think that's true. I think there is actually something streaming right now over on the popverse.com that is happening at New York.
I feel like a time traveler. It's very, very strange.
But that's what we want to talk about. We want to chat all things New York Comic Con because Graeme and I are currently there. At the time you're watching this, maybe there's some tickets left.
I strongly suspect that's not going to be the case, but you never know. Maybe there are. If you're in the New York area and there are tickets left, buy them. Come and see us.
Please,
We're nice
come
people.
see us. Sure.
Fine, I'm nice. Just throwing that out there.
Graeme, what's the first New York Comic Con you ever went to?
Oh God, I don't know. Wow, I really don't know what the first New York Comic Con I went to, and it's not that long ago. I'm trying to remember if it was 2017 or 2016. It was somewhere around there. It was either the first or second one I did where, and this is simultaneously a sign of how not long ago it was and how long ago it was, that DC had a gallery show to promote the launch of Doomsday Clock.
Oh my God! I was there. I was there.
I'm sure the two of us were both there. And they had it was a whole thing. Do you remember they had like all the artwork of the first issue up
in the tunnel, the nightclub, the tunnel, like iconic club kid.
I'm glad you remember this because I don't.
This is the only reason why I remember it was at the tunnel. Because one of my all-time favorite drag queens and now Broadway icon Peppermint, that was like one of her big debut clubs, and I was like, but they were like, this is Doomsday Clock art, and I was like, yes, but this is the tunnel.
No, but that was either my first or second New York Comic Con was the one where they did that. So we're like, it's probably 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I was gonna say my first New York Comic Con was 2015 because when I moved to the United States, the only Comic Con that I knew was San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah,
there weren't that many comic conventions in Canada at the time when I was growing up. They were mostly anime conventions. I just did not conceive that there were as many as there simply are. And I did not, I'm so sorry, Repop. I did not know New York Comic Con existed until 2015. And that was the first one that I went to.
I remember before I went to New York Comic Con ever, I knew a lot of people who had gone to New York Comic Con, and everyone complained about the Javits. Not about the building of the Javits, but the placement, because they made it sound... No, they made it sound like the Javits was like in a wasteland surrounded by nothing, which is just not true.
Well, it's New York, like nothing is, right?
Yeah, but it was amazing. They were like, the Javits is miles away from anywhere. You're going to be walking for hours. And all I can think is like, they're all actually snail people because the Javits is really close to a lot of things. No, I am a big fan of New York Comic Con. I love that show, and I think it always makes me feel like the weirdest. San Diego Comic Con takes over San Diego, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you go and you can't escape Comic Con. You try and go out for dinner to forget the show. You can't do it because any restaurant you go into is going to, like, all the waiters are going to be wearing like superhero t-shirts, and they're going to be like, and here's the blah blah blah. And New York Comic Con is not that at all. New York Comic Con is the biggest show in North America. And if you go like 3 blocks in any direction, no one will know it exists. Yeah. And it's amazing in that sense. It's such a wonderful experience to go to. You know, New York's just an amazing city anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to New York Comic Con and you get the best of both worlds, and that you get, again, the biggest show in North America. And also you get to leave. Yeah.
You get to go and have a normal New York experience, or if it's your first time, a very tourist New York experience. But yeah, it's but it is a bubble, and for us specifically, it is like this tiny little, like these 6 blocks between the incredible hotel that we stay at and the convention
Don't say it.
center. Is
Don't say the name of it because you
I
don't want
won't.
to give
I
away what
will
we're
not.
saying.
I will not.
I think also, with the exception of a couple of things that happened in San Diego, I think all of my weirdest New York experiences, Comic-Con experiences, have happened in New York.
Will
And
you tell us one?
I got lost in Madison Square Garden. Do you
Oh,
remember?
I mean,
It used to be in the big panels. Used to be in Madison Square Garden.
yeah.
I got lost there, trying to get out of a panel.
Which panel?
I can't even. The Mortal
Defenders.
Engines, maybe? No, it might have been the Mortal Engines.
Oh, sure.
that
I
was-
went to set for that. I went to New Zealand for that and had a great time.
But I was trying to leave. Or was
Uh-huh.
it Pacific Rim? Might have been the second Pacific Rim film.
Oh,
Where, like, I thought I was supposed to leave through one, because I was there as press and I was doing
Yep.
an interview afterwards, and I believed I had to leave through a particular door.
yeah, so they shoved
And-
you over to
and I-
different rooms.
Whoa, but I didn't. And I went through the wrong door, and all of a sudden I'm backstage in Madison Square Garden. And no one's there at all. And all the doors are locked, even seemingly the door I came through. And I just had this weird thing of like, do I call someone and say, help, I don't know where I am, but I'm definitely inside this building. But I was also aware that I was supposed to be doing an interview in like 5 minutes.
Yep.
And was just like, yep, it's all gone wrong. It was Pacific Rim because it was John Boyega that I was supposed to go and talk to.
Those are the worst, where you have to call the publicist and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm very stupid. Please help me.
Yes, I don't know where I am. Please come find me. I got really, really sick at a New York Comic Con.
Uh-huh.
Just with a cold, just with like a really bad head cold. But I remember doing a lot of interviews where I spent the entire interview not listening to what they were saying, but just thinking, don't sneeze over them, don't sneeze over them, don't sneeze over them. There was last year's New York Comic Con where there were lots of concerns about illnesses on behalf of
Yes.
celebrities,
Yes.
as you know quite
Direct
well.
exposures, in fact.
New York is one of the things I like about New York is the show where anything can happen.
It is. It does feel. It feels like anything is possible in the best and like most frightening way. It's much more
It's
exciting.
not even frightening for me. It is just the, you get up and you go to the show and you're like, I have no idea what's going to happen today.
Well, I find that frightening. Like, I'm a control freak, so I'm like, I want to know what's happening.
Oh, I'm a big fan of going to a show and just being like, I've given myself over to the experience. As long as I come out with all of my limbs and all of my like fingers, we'll be fine. No, but it is. New York is the show where weird things will just happen, and if you're open to it, you can have such an amazing experience. It's just utterly unexpected.
At my very first New York Comic Con, a celebrity lead of a television show who was a very tall man had an even taller man bodyguard, and they ran right into me and truly knocked me to the ground. And then the celebrity tall man helped me to my feet. And it was probably the strangest encounter I've ever had at a New York Comic Con, at any Comic Con. It was an accident, but like, I am not a tall person. And the way I flew to the ground when this man ran into me was quite something.
There was a comics professional who snuck me into a panel just
Love
because
that.
they and I were having a conversation beforehand.
Yep.
And it was great. But what I didn't realize was that comics professional would then ask me to hold their jacket for the entire panel. So I saw the panel from backstage holding their jacket, just being like, I feel like I'm like back in my high school days where I'm the unpopular one who like was invited to go to the party just to stand and hold things.
That's kind of adorable, though. What are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to the thing that you and I are doing together, very much. Which by the time
We're
it's
gonna
happening,
be
it
doing
will
two
be
things
happening.
together.
Yeah, but then there's the one that has a lot to do with what we're doing right now.
Yes, is that what we're excited about? I think we could talk about that because it will be
'Cause
happening.
it'll be happening like
today,
as
like
we're doing
right
it.
now.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
one of those things that like as we record this, it's not been announced, and so we're
Yeah.
both being cagey. But when this airs, it will be announced because it will be happening in like 10
Okay.
minutes.
Graham and I are doing a live Enter the Popverse panel, and I'm future Ashley going to put a little date and time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I because you and I have never done we've never done Into the Popverse in person together anyway. But now
No.
we're doing it in front of a crowd, which is going to be a really strange experience.
Both of those are true. I don't know if I'm hoping that it's packed or if I'm hoping there's 2 people there. But I don't foresee it being a mid-range. I think it's either going to be like very well attended or it's going to be a conversation with the 3 people watching us.
Which also
I have
either
no
way,
problem with
either way, I
either.
will be thrilled with that.
Yeah.
What else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to a bunch of the panels. I'm looking forward
Mhm.
to there's certain announcements that are being made that I really can't talk about because they won't be made yet when this airs.
Yeah.
That I'm looking forward to coming out and being a thing. And I'm looking forward to the bits that you don't see coming. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I am looking forward to the running into people you didn't know were there, or seeing some amazing cosplay, or Art Sally. Art Sally in New York is
It's the best one.
astonishing. Yeah,
Best one, bar
it's
none.
art. Yeah, like every year at Art Sally in New York, like there's always some art you come away with that you didn't even know existed. / you come away with so much less money and you feel very guilty about spending so much on art.
Do you budget when you go to a show or do you just go, "Oh, I'll figure it out later"?
Both. I budget and then I inevitably spend more than I thought because that's how you do it at conventions.
Is it? Is it?
Um, yeah, it is for me. Every single year I set myself a budget, and every single year I will be approaching that budget and I will see something that I'm like, when am I ever going to have the opportunity to see this again? I should spend more money than I thought on it every single time. Maybe not this year because I have 2 more conventions after this that I will have to, survive. So I
Yeah.
might need that money.
All right, Graeme, before I send you back into the Popverse, instead of telling people your socials, which I know is your favorite thing to do, where can people find you besides on the Enter the Popverse panel right this very moment in New York? Or where would you like people to find you in New York?
Find me on the show floor. You know what I look like now. So find me on the show floor and say hi, because that would actually be genuinely lovely. And otherwise, I am doing a
Look, do
bunch
you like
of
how I gave you
panels.
Ileana's? So now I'm going to have to edit this and
Oh
post.
wow, I love that very much. No, you should 100% give me Ilya.
I gave a scene of Grace last week, 2 weeks
I
ago.
know.
Oh boy, what's time? Everyone wants to be Ileana. I get it. I also want to be Ileana. She's
Look, I want
beautiful.
to be
She's
Ilyana.
talented. She's
Yeah,
kind. We all love her.
yeah.
I get it.
No, I think everyone honestly at Popverse wants to be Ilyana
Yeah.
if we're completely honest about it. I will be Ilyana, that's fine. No, find me on the show floor. And what always happens at conventions is people will be sitting next to me at a panel,
Uh-huh.
and I'll be reporting and I'll be typing things out, or if I'm live blogging,
Yeah.
and we'll always have that weird conversation of like, oh, what do you write? Who do you write for? And at San Diego this year, there were so many people who were like, Popverse, that's amazing. And I was like, I feel like a celebrity. Now you have to stop talking because I'm live blogging. But I'd like, yeah, find me in panels and find me on the show floor.
Take a picture with Graeme and then tag me in it because I want to see it.
Oh,
Graeme doesn't
don't take a
care.
picture. I'm
I
ugly
care.
as sin. Yeah, no. If you do take a picture, then don't.
Take a picture from behind Graeme and don't text it to me. I don't want your text. Tweet it at me.
Also, you just want pictures of like my lack of hair. What's that?
I do. I just want like a spy. I just want like a bunch of weird pictures behind you.
Oh man, this I'm very sorry everyone watching this. This is devolved.
Graeme, watch. Maybe next week I'll show you the ones that people tagged me in. We'll see.
That would be amazing.
All right, Graeme, we got to run to our panel all the way across the country. So bye.
Bye, time traveler.
I can't wait to do this episode next year with Graeme, where we can tell you all of our stories that are going on right now, right this very single second, as we prep to do yet another New York Comic Con together. Friends, I know you're also here because you saw in my thumbnail the incredible creator who we have joining us here today. If you have been around for enough episodes of Enter the Popverse, you know that I personally am really passionate about all ages comics and middle grades comics and kid lit. So when I got an opportunity at San Diego Comic-Con to host the DC Young Readers panel, I jumped at it. It was one of the funnest things I got to do the whole weekend. I had the opportunity there to talk to Penelope Gaylord, who is this incredible, incredible artist who also worked on Clark and Lex, which we've talked about. And she was talking about Diana and the Hero's Journey because she is doing art duties on Diana and the Hero's Journey, solo art duties versus shared art duties like she did on Clark and Lex. It was so lovely to meet her and to have her on the panel. She was such a ray of sunshine. Please follow her all over on social medias. So when I got connected with this person to do even more talking about Diana and the hero's journey, I knew I simply had to do it. So I ask you to please, once again, put your hands together in the great Into the Popverse tradition theater kid round of applause to welcome the New York Times best-selling author, GLAAD Media award-winning scriptwriter, the talent behind Lumberjanes, Moonstruck, and of course, Diana and the Hero's Journey, on sale right now at the time that you are watching this. Please join me in welcoming Grace Ellis to the show. Hi, Grace, and welcome to Enter the Popverse.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
How is your day going so far from all the way in the past?
It's good. It's good. I had a vet visit that went really well. The cat is doing great, you know?
Oh, wait, I hope the cat shows up. We love it when animals show up on the program.
She hates like internet meetings, but fingers crossed, we'll hold her up and she'll make a really angry face. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing the goddess's work.
Yes, of course.
All the way back, throw your mind all the way back to San Diego Comic-Con. I hosted the DC Book for Young Readers panel, and I got to meet your collaborator on
Penelope. Yes.
Yes. She's completely amazing. And she told me the story about the goat who appears in Diana the Hero and the Hero's Journey. So I want to ask about the goat.
Yes. Well, I believe very strongly in giving these young legendary girls like little animal companions. So the goat in this book is named Phyllis, and she doesn't have a lot going on in her brain. And Penelope Gaylord, the artist, took one look at the script and said, doesn't have a lot going on in her brain. Sounds like my cat. So that is kind of the basis for the goat is on her cat.
Oh, I love that. Wait, is there any of your cat who makes it in there?
My cat is more in the Lois Lane book that I did, just like very like conniving, you know, like a little wiser than she appears, I think.
That's very, very funny to me. Okay, so speaking of like personalization and like seeing yourself in other characters, is there a lot of a young Grace in this young version of Diana that we're getting to see?
Oh God, I wish there was. I was not a cool child. I was very quiet and very nerdy. And Diana is very loud and really, really knows who she is and isn't going to let anyone stop her from doing anything at all, even if they probably should. And I was not that at all. So it's very like aspirational for me, I think.
She's the kind of girl who I think would be described as bossy because she has leadership skills, perhaps.
For sure. Well, she's a princess, you know? She's meant to be that.
When you are tackling a character as iconic as Wonder Woman, but you're trying to bring her to a new audience with a new sensibility, what is that pressure like?
Oh, you can't think about it at all, you know? I think it's definitely tough because there have been a bazillion different versions of Wonder Woman. So the question is like, what is my version of Wonder Woman going to be? And when we're talking about like middle grade, I think that there is a tendency for people to just kind of like tell the story they want to tell and like put like a Wonder Woman looking person in it. The way that I kind of thought about it was like, who does Wonder Woman become and what would the foundation of a person like that be, you know? So thinking about like how just like incredible Wonder Woman is, but like what would like a pre-version of that be? And thinking about like the things that we know that are always true in a Wonder Woman book where she's like the only kid on this island and she's a princess. And it's like, well, she was probably a very self-confident brat. So we start there. And what happens to Wonder Woman that would like put her on this trajectory for like greatness where she's not a brat anymore, where she like cares very deeply about the people around her, because that is definitely true. That is like one of the most true things about Wonder Woman is she's very like community oriented. Unlike Superman, she is like very closely tied to the Amazons. So how did that bond happen? And I think that's kind of the central question that I wanted to answer with this book.
For some readers who are already familiar with Diana, maybe this isn't our first Wonder Woman book. Are there going to be any cameos by some Amazons that we might recognize? Are we getting some like Artemis action or some Philippus action?
I'm glad you asked.
Thank you.
Her mom is in it, and her auntie is in it. Antioch. So of course, I was shocked that I don't think anyone's ever made that joke before. Surely someone has, but I was really proud of it. Auntie, come on now, gang, let's get into it.
I feel like that's the t-shirt for Comic-Con next year.
For sure. Oh, I'm all about it. You and I will both be there. We'll be twins.
Yes. It'll be us and Penelope, and we'll have a stuffed goat, and we'll be like,
yes. Everyone will be very confused, but that's the main goal of San Diego Comic-Con, is to confuse everyone around you. Everyone's already anyway.
Is it not just guerrilla marketing at that point? What is your collaboration like? Because like just from talking to you for the past few minutes, it seems like it's really fun. You have such great energy. Penelope has such great energy. And you're working in graphic novel format. You're not doing sort of a floppy format. So what's that been like?
Oh, it was really, it was really fun. I like to work very closely with the artist, because the whole thing about being a comics writer who doesn't do any art is that nothing that you write is going to be the last thing that someone sees. Comic scripts are not meant to really be read by a wider audience, although they are always really fun to read because I think they're so intimate. The document that I'm writing is just for Penelope. Sarah Miller, the editor, will read it and have a lot of thoughts on it, and I love Sarah. She always has like really good thoughts on things. This book would not be what it is without her. But the main purpose of the script is to communicate something to Penelope, whether that's like just basic factual information or tone, things like that. So it's really important to me that I like have a good understanding of who I'm trying to talk to. You know, what's your frame of reference? What are the kinds of things you like? What's your general vibe? So I got to know Penelope really well through this process, and she's got a lot of really great ideas. I mean, the book turned out so much better than it would have turned out with, I don't want to say with anyone else, but yeah, probably with anyone else, just because she has such a unique and good sensibility for this kind of story.
That's going to be the headline that I post this under. Nobody else is good enough to have drawn Diana and the hero's journey.
This is the only Wonder Woman book that is good.
I mean, we'd get clicks. People would love it.
I've never courted controversy before. This is so exciting.
Oh, no. I mean, we could go there.
No, I don't want to.
You're really known, like I know your work, and I think most of us came to discover your work through Lumberjanes. So I feel like you really have the market cornered on middle grade. So when this project came to be, I don't know if you came to DC or if they came to you. For you, was it logical that this would be sort of like a coming of age and a finding yourself, a literal hero's journey, dare I say?
Brutal, but yes. Okay, so my collaboration with DC started like 5 or 6 years ago. Sarah came to me and was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, Lois Lane. And she was like, that's great. Nobody really cares about Lois Lane. Do whatever you want. The people that care about Lois Lane, like me, care very, very much about Lois Lane. But the broader DC,
the best woman in all of DC.
Listen, don't get me started. We'll be here all day. But
okay,
especially like 5 or 6 years ago, people cared much less about Lois Lane. She's kind of come into her own recently, which is great. We love that. But so we did this Lois Lane book. One of the pivotal moments in Lois Lane is where she like discovers a love of journalism. It's great. I did that book with Brittany Williams, another really great collaborator. Like I love Brittany Williams. Seek out all of her stuff. So when we finished that, I was kicking around some things. I don't even remember what it was, but Sarah was like, oh, I thought like maybe you would want to write like a Wonder Woman book. And I was like, everybody move. It's time to write a Wonder Woman. They asked me to do something that was kind of like could potentially one day with an additional one after this be packaged as like a group of three little books that kind of all went together. So it was always going to be a middle grade story. But I think that even if I had pitched this as an adult, book, I think that the core of it, I would have wanted to keep it the same. I think I would have wanted to put it on the island with the Amazons, and I am really interested in stories and the way we tell them and the way that a person's like who the person is impacts the way that that person tells the story. That is something that I am like very, very interested in. So I think even if this had been an adult book, and I think that there is a lot in here that adults will genuinely like, it would have been basically the same. It's just a Wonder Woman book that I had inside of me.
Oh, that's so lovely. But also, did I just hear soft confirmation of like 2 or 3?
Oh
Wonder
God,
Woman books?
don't quote me on that for sure. Don't. I have not signed anything. That was like a handshake deal. That's not. Nope.
You're just
Don't worry about
courting
that.
more controversy as we go
Listen,
along.
I can't. This interview is over.
You're like, thank you so much. I will never be speaking with you again.
DC is going to cut me off forever now.
With the title of the book, were you braced for the amount of Joseph Campbell jokes that are inevitably going to be coming your way?
I hope they do. I mean, I'm very scared because I am not an academic who has like studied Joseph Campbell, and I know that there are people who devote their entire careers to this, and I don't want people to think that I'm an expert. I have like a layman's interest in the hero's journey, but I do find it very, very interesting. And actually, it's been really cool because I'm doing a like school visit next week, I think, and they were studying like Greek mythology and then also the hero's journey. So it was just like kind of perfect. It didn't even occur to me that like this is a thing that middle schoolers are already studying. So it's actually like a very educational book at the end of the day. You should be integrating comics into your like school curriculum. What a great idea.
You're literally doing the goddess's work.
Oh, I'm trying, not even trying, as I think I just pointed out, just kind of like stumbling into the right answer occasionally.
Now I'm trying to be like, are you Calliope, the muse of poetry? I feel like we're getting somewhere deep in this discussion.
Listen, after I finished this book, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I just finished it last night. I put 175 hours into it, and I did every location and every quest. So if
Casually.
I'm a very casual gamer. So I do have a great affinity for Greece now, even more so. I'm like, the Greek gods. Let's like really dive in.
So when people watch this episode, Diana and the Hero's Journey will have already been out. It will have release on October 10th. And I would love to ask, is there any specific Easter egg or scene or moment that you really want to shout out so that people don't miss it when they pick up the book?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Besides the goat.
Besides the goat. Keep an eye out on that goat. So I guess the basic premise of this book is that Diana is being told a story by several different Amazons, and they all have their different storytelling style. When I was working on it, the style that I found the hardest to write was the first one, which is like an epic poem in the style of like the Odyssey or the Iliad or something. It's in that same like heroic meter. It was really tough to write. There's not even very much in it, but it took me a really long time to get through. My favorite art, though, ended up being the second one, which is the chef, like the cook, is telling her version of it, and it's the biggest departure from the epic version. There's like it becomes like a talking dog story, and the art for it, she had decided to do like a manga style art for it, and it looks
cool.
So good. I love it. It came out better than I could. I didn't specify. I was just like, do whatever you think would be fun, and she picked manga, and it was correct, like an objectively
super
correct.
fun. I would also love to ask for anybody watching this. A lot of people watch this who are either making comics or want to make comics. What is your best piece of advice for aspiring creators?
Pick a project and see it all the way to the end.
Yes.
That's the biggest difference between an amateur and a professional. I know that you have a lot of ideas. I also have a lot of ideas. Just like pick one, do it until it's done, and you can hand it to someone. That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
And Grace, I've kept you longer than I promised because in the proud tradition of Enter the Popverse, my friends, I will admit we did have technical difficulties at the beginning. So I would love to ask you our final question, which is, what are you geeking out about right now that you are not working on? And you already talked about Assassin's Creed, so I'm going to say pick something different.
Oh God, okay. Oh no. Oh God. Okay. So oh, what should I say? It's all so terrible. I've been reading Anne of Green Gables.
As a Canadian,
That is
you
correct.
just
Oh no, are you
made my
Canadian?
whole
Oh
day.
God,
I
I'm
am.
sorry. I didn't even know that. It's so
My
good.
God.
It's just like such a good book, you know. I hadn't read it since I was a kid. It's just like nice. It's just such a nice book, you know. It's like
Mhm.
I I picked it up because my partner was like, "What's a book that would like kind of give me like Studio Ghibli vibes?" And I was like, "I think like Anne of Green Gables is kind of like just like a nice like meandering book in that same way," and it totally is. It's just so. It's just I keep saying it's nice, but it's just nice. It's very Canadian.
If, if you find yourself on any more long plane rides the rest of the year, there are 7 more books in that series, so
Yes, yes, I saw that. Because I was so sad. I was almost at the end, and I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure there's a sequel," and then it's like, "Oh, there's like many sequels." So I'm gonna tell you now. You know.
Yeah, there's like a million sequels. Grace, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for capping with Anne of Green Gables. What a delight just for me personally. For everyone who's watching, Diana and the hero's journey even of our princess is available right now. And Grace, would you let everybody know where they can find you online, where they can support you, where they can follow along for maybe the other 2 books that are part of this series, or maybe anything else that you're working on?
Well, the easiest way to follow me at this point, I think, is just like my website, which is ohheygraceellis.com. Yeah, just like basically just a list of projects and then a little biography, and I update it as it becomes relevant. That's your best bet at this point.
Thank you so much again, Grace. We'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Oh, I hope so too. This was so fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I also want to encourage you, if you want to see more of this story, if you liked this, if you're intrigued, if you like Diana and the hero's journey, tweet at DC Official and let them know that you would like 2 or 3 more of these, because I definitely do. I need more goats in my comics, and I know that you do too. Friends, thank you so much for joining us on this extra special New York Comic Con episode of Enter the Popverse. I hope at this very moment I am seeing you either at Guardians or at our Enter the Popverse experience. This is the first time we're doing an Enter the Popverse live at New York Comic Con, and I'm so excited, and I really hope it's something that we can bring to more conventions in the future, and maybe even be able to share with all of you. TBD. If you are not at New York Comic Con and you would like to be at New York Comic Con, don't forget, there's still a chance you can snap up tickets. And I encourage everyone all the time to do that, because I'm going to be there and I want to see you there and I want to meet you there. And I want you to see that my hair is different when you come and you see me there. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Enter the Popverse. I have been Ashley Victoria Robinson, your video producer and host here in the Popverse. And the Popverse is, of course, a virtual realm created by Read Pop, where we are celebrating the best in TV, movies, and comics. As always, I put all of the stories that we cover in the show notes below, but you could always find them so much more on these topics and everything inside the geek sphere by visiting popverse.com. And while you're over there, get yourself a Popverse membership and you will get so much access, especially to New York Comic Con this weekend, no matter where you are in the world, whether you can be there or not, whether you're in the correct time zone or not, you can join us by getting yourself a Popverse membership. All right, friends, while you're here, why not do it? That little banner at the bottom says like and subscribe, and click on that little bell so you get a notification each and every ding dang time we do an episode, so you are never missing out on us and we are never missing out on you. Once again, I have been Ashley Victoria Robinson, and I will see you next time.